Hello, soul family. Welcome to Spiritual Manifestation. If this is your first time, welcome in, and if not, I'm glad to have you home. Now, I don't know who needs to hear this today, but Spirit is coming through loud and clear for someone in this collective. Because whoever I'm picking up on, they've been trying really hard to let you go. They've done everything they could to move on from this connection. They've tried to forget you, detach, distract themselves, maybe even convince themselves that they were over it. But here's the truth: they're not. And the harder they try to walk away, the more your energy pulls at them. Not because you're chasing, but because your essence left an imprint. Something about you just stayed. And no matter how much time passes or how far they try to run, it's like there's this quiet ache that keeps whispering your name. So let's tune into that. Let's see what Spirit wants to reveal about this connection and the energy moving between you. The first card I just pulled is the Page of Cups. And Divine Feminine, this card says so much about what's going on in someone's emotional world right now, especially someone who's been running from their own feelings. What I'm getting so clearly is that this person has been trying to let you go. They've been trying to move on. They've convinced themselves it would be easier that way. Cleaner, simpler, more logical. But the thing is, their heart never got the memo. They get signs about you constantly. I'm talking repeating numbers, your name in random places, songs that bring you up out of nowhere. But more than that, they dream about you, over and over again. I don't mean the kind of dreams that are easy to forget the next morning. I mean the kind that stay with them all day. The kind that pull at their chest when they try to go on with life like you never happened. Spirit's been speaking to them through those dreams, because honestly, that's the only time they're quiet enough to listen. And here's the wild part: this person is actually intuitive. They have the ability to feel things deeply. They get gut nudges. They feel energy. But what do they do with it? They block it. They shove it down. They've built up such a strong wall around their heart that anything that even looks like real emotion makes them flinch. And because your connection does reach that heart space, their reaction is to push it away, even if it hurts. Right now, they're frustrated. Not with you, with themselves. They've spent so much time ignoring what they feel that now it's all catching up. Something recently cracked open their heart, and you came rushing to the surface. Not because you triggered the pain, but because you've always been the one tied to their truth. And even though there's silence in the 3D, your energy is loud in their soul. That heart center they tried to seal off, it keeps pulling them right back to you. I see them trying to find you in other people, over and over again, different names, different faces, same longing. They might think they're being subtle, but it's obvious to anyone paying attention. They're chasing echoes of you. It's like they meet someone and for a second they think, maybe this is close enough. But it never is, because deep down, they're not looking for close enough. They're looking for you. What's beautiful and painful is that this person is haunted by your uniqueness. The way you carry yourself, your voice, your softness, your wisdom, even things like your culture, your values, your spiritual presence. You're not easy to forget. And it's not just your physical traits, it's your essence. they could meet someone who looks like you, laughs like you, even believes in the same things. But that soul frequency, that's not something they can duplicate. You might not know this, or maybe a part of you has always sensed it. Maybe you felt that pull in the silence. But this person has intentionally sought out people who remind them of you, hoping it would help them move on. And the more they do that, the more they realize they can't replace you. They could line up 5 versions of what they think they want, but at the end of the day, none of them are you. They tried to forget. They tried to detach. But the more they run, the more they're reminded of you. Because what they're really looking for is the connection they already had, the one they didn't know how to hold when it showed up. You were the one who checked all their boxes. You were the one who felt like home. And they've been trying to recreate that magic with people who only remind them of what they lost. So while they pretend they're fine, while they post, smile, date, move through life, there's a part of them that knows they're only delaying the truth, that no one else feels like you. And maybe they haven't said it yet. Maybe they're still hiding. But Spirit is making sure they feel it. In their dreams, in their heart, in every quiet moment where the noise fades and your name comes back like a whisper. Now, I just pulled the Emperor. And Divine Feminine, the moment I touched this card, I felt a surge of heat, determination, frustration, and something that's been buried for a long time finally bubbling to the surface. Someone here has been trying hard to let you go. They've tried distraction. They've tried silence. They've tried pouring themselves into work, into other people, into anything that would pull their attention away from you. But nothing's worked. Because the truth is, they haven't really let you go. Not on a soul level, not even close. You are unforgettable, and not in a surface level way. You're the kind of presence that lingers in the air long after you've left the room. Your energy is rare. You don't try to fit in. You don't mold yourself to other people's expectations. You don't chase trends. You set them. You've always walked your own path, even when it was lonely, even when people didn't get it. You live from a place of authenticity that makes you stand out without even trying. And that's exactly why this person can't forget you. They've looked for you in others, maybe not consciously at first, but now they're starting to realize that every connection they've jumped into has been an echo, a pale imitation, a desperate reach for the feeling you gave them without even trying. And what's even more complex is that while their actions look inconsistent, maybe even disloyal, their heart hasn't budged. They've stayed loyal to the feeling you gave them, even when their behavior said otherwise. You live in their heart, even if they haven't been brave enough to say it out loud. But let's be honest, this person is angry. Not at you, but at themselves. Angry that they've wasted time. Angry that they've kept you at a distance while pretending to be fine. Angry that they couldn't make a decision when it mattered. This is someone who's used to being in control, used to being the leader in their world. And yet when it comes to you, they've been frozen. They know what they want, and it's you. But they haven't known how to get from desire to action without fear getting in the way. Now something has cracked open in their heart. The walls they've built are starting to shake. And you might feel this shift even without communication. You might feel that strange pull toward them again, the way your heart starts to beat differently when they're thinking about you. Because on an energetic level, they're waking up. They're starting to feel again. They're remembering what it means to want something real. And that want, it's wrapped in your name. Now, this masculine is staring at himself in the mirror, and he doesn't like what he sees. Not because he doesn't value himself, but because he knows he's been acting out of alignment with his heart. He knows he's been in avoidance. He knows he's been trying to numb a connection that was never meant to be forgotten. And now, the weight of that is becoming too much to carry. He wants to speak. He wants to move. He wants to choose. But here's the part you need to hear, divine feminine. You're not the one who's been inconsistent. You're not the one who needed to change. You've already been showing up in your truth. You've already done the work. You've already chosen love over fear, light over hiding. So this isn't about you waiting. This is about you knowing that what's meant for you is being stirred awake, knowing that your energy, your love, your uniqueness, it wasn't unnoticed. It was unforgettable. Moving forward, I just pulled the Hanged Man. And honestly, divine feminine, this card makes so much sense with the energy I'm feeling around this masculine right now. He's not moving, not because he doesn't care, but because he's tangled in a silent war between his heart and his fear. He's frustrated, he's overwhelmed, and more than anything, he's stuck. And the worst part? He knows why. Deep down, he knows he's been ignoring every intuitive nudge that's tried to guide him home to his truth. And to you. Because here's the thing, this is someone who is deeply intuitive. He feels things with clarity. He senses energy. He picks up on the emotional undercurrents. His soul knows the truth. It's just that his mind, his ego, his fear has been louder. And for a long time now, he's chosen to listen to the noise rather than the knowing. Every time his intuition said, "Speak your heart," his fear said, "You'll be rejected." Every time his soul whispered, "Go to her," his trauma screamed, "You'll get hurt again." And this has been going on for a while. For some of you, I'm getting a 3-year cycle. Like you met this person years ago, and since then, they've been battling this silent pull toward you. They told themselves they could get over it. They told themselves they'd forget you, but they couldn't, and they haven't. Because this isn't just a passing connection. This is something fated, and his soul knows it. But knowing isn't the issue. Trusting is. See, he doesn't trust his intuition, not because it's wrong, but because he's scared of what following it might lead to. He's terrified of surrender, terrified of what happens if he puts his heart on the line and it's not received. He's carrying a rejection wound that runs deep, and that wound has convinced him that it's safer to stay stuck than it is to risk being seen and not chosen. But what he doesn't realize is that by trying to avoid the pain of rejection, he's inviting the pain of regret. This masculine has been ignoring signs, dreams, gut feelings, repeated numbers, messages from spirit. He's been feeling the pull toward you in every way imaginable, and still, he's frozen. And that's what happens when you ignore your intuition long enough. The path forward disappears, and you're left in limbo, unable to move forward, unable to go back, just stuck. Spirit is trying to help him shift, but until he listens, the energy around him will keep getting heavier. What's wild is that he knows exactly what he needs to do. His heart has made it painfully clear. His feelings for you haven't gone anywhere. In fact, they've grown stronger. But his fear, it's louder. He's afraid that if he opens up, if he surrenders, if he reaches out, you won't be there. Or worse, that you'll see the real him and not choose him back. And that fear has built a wall so high, he can't see what's on the other side anymore. But divine feminine, what you need to know is this. It's not about you not being enough. It's about him not feeling worthy enough to meet the version of you he knows you are now. You've evolved. You've glowed up. You've stepped into your power. And he's still looking at you from a distance, wondering if someone like you could ever truly want someone like him. This has nothing to do with your love not being strong. It's about him needing to believe he deserves it. He's coming to a breaking point. The pressure inside is building. The longer he avoids, the heavier it becomes. His soul is screaming for movement, for truth, for action, but his fear is still dragging its heels. And that tug of war, it can't last forever. Eventually, something has to give. Eventually, he has to choose. Does he keep living in fear, or does he step into faith? And here's what I feel. You're not chasing. You're not pushing. You've done the work. You've made space. You've aligned with love, and you've trusted that if this is meant for you, it will come in the way that honors your worth. And it will. But he has to meet you there. No more games. No more running. No more half-hearted energy. The door is open, but it won't stay open forever if he keeps standing still. The next card I just pulled is the Fool. And instantly, it makes so much sense. This isn't just about a new beginning. It's about someone standing at the edge of something they've prayed for and still hesitating to step in. But there was one particular thing I kept calling in, and here's the strange part. I would get it, but then I'd push it away, over and over. I didn't understand it at first. I just knew I wanted it so badly, and yet, every time it arrived, I couldn't hold it. I'd reject it without even knowing why. And then I'd manifest it again, only to push it away all over again. Until one day it hit me, I didn't feel worthy of it. That was the root. I had placed this thing, this person, this experience so high on a pedestal that I made myself feel small beside it. Not good enough, not ready, not deserving. And because of that, I kept pushing away what was already mine. And I feel that same energy here with this person. They've been calling in a love like yours. They've felt the warmth, the realness, the depth of it. But now that it's in front of them, they don't know how to receive it. Because receiving something this sacred requires a deep sense of worthiness. And they don't believe they deserve love like the kind you offer. This person sees the light in you. They see how alive, how open-hearted, how giving you are. And instead of stepping into it, their old beliefs tell them they can't possibly have something that pure. So they self-sabotage. Not because they don't care, but because they feel like they're not enough for it. And here's where the choice comes in. If they listen to their heart, if they stop running and just follow that soft voice of truth within, it leads to true happiness. I mean real joy. That deep soul kind of fulfillment. The kind that heals generations. But that path requires courage. It requires them to believe they are worthy of being happy. And for someone who's been stuck in cycles of doubt, shame, or unhealed wounds, that's a hard leap to make. That's why they've been sitting in this stuck energy, still haunted by the past, still searching for you in people who will never match your frequency. You might be wondering, why can't they just choose joy? Why can't they step into what's clearly meant for them? And the answer is because somewhere deep inside, they still don't feel like they're allowed to, so they sabotage the very thing they long for. The next card I just pulled is the Eight of Cups, and immediately the energy is clear. Someone here is trying to walk away, but their heart won't let them. Divine Feminine, the person I'm picking up on, has done everything they can to forget you. They've tried to convince themselves that moving on is the best option, that they're over it, that they're over you. But no matter how far they try to go, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, it always loops back to you. Because the truth is, they never really let you go. There's this deep emotional imprint that you left on them, and it's not something they can shake off with distractions or distance. They may have deleted photos, avoided your name, filled their schedule, maybe even entertained other connections, but none of it sticks. It's like they keep reaching for something to replace the depth they once felt with you, and nothing compares. The more they try to detach, the more aware they become of the spiritual weight of this bond. They didn't expect that. They didn't expect you to be unforgettable. What I feel so strongly is this person tried to detach in a very logical, matter-of-fact way. They may have told themselves stories like, this just isn't meant to be, or maybe we're too different. But the emotional body, it never bought it. Their soul knows something that their ego has been fighting, and that something is you, that memory of you, that connection with you. It's still alive, still echoing, still pulling at them in the quiet moments they don't speak about. And the truth is, Divine Feminine, you were never the one who truly walked away. You surrendered. You let go with grace because you had to honor yourself. You didn't chase. You didn't beg. You leaned into your own healing because you knew that what you deserved could never come through force. And yet, what you may not know is that your absence has been the loudest silence they've ever heard. The lack of your energy has created space for them to finally feel their own. They've been reflecting, even if they'd never say it out loud. And what they're realizing is that the version of themselves who tried to let you go was the version that didn't know how to receive love. They didn't understand what depth felt like until they were swimming in it with you, and it scared them. So they ran. Or maybe they shut down. But the more time passes, the more they realize it wasn't about incompatibility. It was about unhealed parts of themselves they didn't want to face. This Eight of Cups energy, it's not just about leaving, it's about what they're walking towards now. And that path is leading them right back to the truth they tried to avoid. You were the mirror. You were the safe space. And now, even with all the miles or months between you, their soul is still reaching for you. Not just for who you were, but for who you've become. Because as much as they've been trying to forget, something deeper is telling them this was never something meant to be erased. So if you've been feeling a strange emotional tug lately, like your heart suddenly remembers them out of nowhere, this is why. They're thinking of you, not just lightly, heavily. And they're realizing that the journey away from you has only led them straight into their own reflection. For our final card in this reading, I just pulled the Two of Cups. And Divine Feminine, this one goes straight to the soul. There's a bond here that can't be denied, no matter how far apart you are, no matter how long it's been, no matter how much you've tried to convince yourself it's over. You've both tried to move on. You've both tried to forget. But here's the truth. When two souls are bound this deeply, it's not something that can be erased. It's something that lives in your spirit. And no matter how many distractions one tries to run toward, that soul pull always returns. This is someone who has been trying so hard to walk away from this connection. And for a while, they may have looked like they succeeded. Silent, distant, unavailable. But what's happening now is undeniable. Their heart can't take it anymore. Their intuition is screaming. The signs are relentless. The dreams, the synchronicities, the constant reminders of you. It's everywhere. And what was once avoidable is now unbearable. You may have felt like they didn't care, that they had already moved on, that maybe you made this whole soul connection up in your head. But I promise you this, if this message is for you, they feel it just as much. They've always felt it. You're not imagining the connection, the intensity you carry in your heart when you think of them. It's mutual. It's mirrored. You are both feeling each other, even when you're not speaking, even when you're angry, even when you're confused. The two of you are connected in ways that defy logic. You might wake up thinking about them with no explanation, or feel random waves of sadness or longing that don't even feel like yours. That's because your energy fields are still intertwined. The telepathy is real. This person feels what you feel. When you're thinking of them, they're thinking of you. When you're aching in silence, they're probably doing the same. You're carrying each other in an invisible way that neither of you fully understands, but both of you feel. And the frustration, the anger, the waves of emotion that come out of nowhere, that's part of it too. This bond doesn't just bring the good feelings, it brings everything. And right now, they are overwhelmed. Their heart is opening, their intuition is screaming, and they can no longer pretend they don't feel you. They're getting the signs. They're waking up in the middle of the night thinking of you. They are remembering moments they tried to forget, and spirit is no longer letting them run from it. For some of you, there's a meeting coming, an unexpected reconnection. It may not be loud or dramatic. It might just be a moment, a message, a glance that shifts everything. But they want to come forward. They want to find the courage to face what they've been hiding from. And deep down, they know that no matter how far they've run, your soul is the one they're still reaching for. This isn't just nostalgia. This isn't just longing. This is the truth trying to break through. And yes, there may still be frustration between you, resentment even, but even that is a reflection of how much this connection matters. The energy between you isn't cold. It's heated because the emotions are real. The bond is real. And when you love someone this deeply, it's impossible not to feel everything. But what you need to know is this. You're not alone in your pain. They're hurting too, maybe even more than you realize. Okay, this feels like a beautiful place to close the reading. They tried to ignore their heart. They tried to block the signs. They tried to convince themselves they could forget you. but spirit is louder now, and their soul is aching to come back into alignment, not just with you, but with who they truly are when they're connected to your energy. You bring them home. And Divine Feminine, even if they're scared, they're starting to see that running from you is the same as running from themselves. Bye for now.